Charlie Cushane here to do another truck camper mod. And if you want to see how I change this faucet into this beautiful faucet and this old sinking faucet in the bathroom to this beautiful stainless steel sinking faucet, watch this video. Okay, all the rest of this effort is going to have to be to remove this sink. Gotta let the water out just in case. The rest of the effort's down here underneath the sink. So let's go down underneath. Okay, I switched to my smaller camera to get under the sink here. And first thing I'll do is I cut this line just to make it easier. Get it out of the way. This is that went to that sprayer head. So that's sort of out of the way. This is obviously, the red is the hot water. The white's the cold water. And the first things we have to do is take these off. Now we should loosen those screws up top and hopefully be able to unscrew that and pull this right out. So let's off. There we go. Those are off. Now I should be able to go up top and pull that right out. And let's see if I can. There we go. Okay, the first decision we had to make is when you're putting this, I just put it in loose. When you're putting this in loose, it can go just like that with this seal. Or you use what they call a deck plate, right, which is what we had on our other faucet. But it makes it harder to clean, and look at the size of the seal you're trying to hold to keep water from splashing under. So I talked to my wife, the ultimate expert, and she said, oh, okay, if we could do this with no deck plate, that's the plan, because she thinks it'll look better. So that's the way we're going. There we go. And then they give you this plastic wrench. I've never tried it before, but I got my wife up there to hold the faucet in the right rotation so I can tighten this nut. So let's try it. Ready? Yeah. Okay, now that the faucet is bolted in where I want it, it's time to hook up the water lines, which brings me to another big problem. As you can see, these residential style faucets come with a female connector on the end. All right, and I already have female connectors on both the cold and hot water lines. So the only way I can fix this is that I bought some of these Shark Bite. They're 90-degree shutoff valves, but that'll fit this tube, the tubing of the faucet and the PEX. So I'm going to cut the ends off, put these on, and it'll also give me a nice shutoff. If I need to, for whatever reason, shut this water off to the sink, I can, and I expect a bunch of water will come out. There we go, and there's the water. Now, let's see how this fits. Perfect. Okay, there's one. Now let's see. That's the cold line. So this is the cold line that would go to it. And I want it to wrap around sort of like this and hook on with as little stress as possible. So let me cut it about here. There we go. And this should just push right in there. There we go. That should be done. That's the cold line. Now let's do the hot line. There we go. So they should be all hooked up. Now this weighted line, the center line for the faucet, I put the weight on it. I added the fitting to give you. And then this just goes up on here. There we go. Click. We're on. That's it. We should be ready for a test and see if we have any leaks. So why don't we go try that? Okay, the pump is on. Let's try this out. Sweet. Hot and cold water. Let's try the sprayer. Oh, my wife will like that. Beautiful. Success. Okay, the reason I want to change this bathroom sink and faucet are twofold. One, this is a plastic oval sink, and I've already turned it white once with special chemicals, a link in the bottom below, and that worked for several years, but now it's starting to turn yellow again, so I'd have to do it again. Another thing is, this faucet is just too low. Look how I could barely get my hands under it to wash them. So I want something with a taller spout. So that's another reason I want this to be gone. So I'm taking both out. I'm going to put all stainless steel brushed nickel in, and hopefully it'll come out perfect. As you can see under the sink, it's held on with what looks like 4 clips that have to be unscrewed. So I guess that's my first challenge. And of course, filming under here is not so easy. The lighting isn't great, the space isn't great, so we'll do what we can. Alright, let's try getting this faucet out. Here's the cold water line. Okay, let's see if we can take these 2 out from up above. Alright, let's see if we can take these out. First thing, perfect, that little faucet's gone. Next thing, the sink. It's gone. Thank God. And we need to clean this up. As you can see, there's a lot of caulking and dirt. And see if the new sink will fit. Spectacular. Okay, to make sure that the plumbing of the old sink matches the new sink, this pipe was about this long. So to make sure it fits with the existing drain the way it was set up, I said, all right, I'll put the two sinks beside each other. And I marked it and cut this, and now it's perfectly level. So I know when I put this sink in, this will line up same as this. So let's go put it in. We got to put some caulking on this so that when we put it down, no water can get underneath. I'm using GE silicone clear caulking. Now we got to put a bead all the way around this where it's going to end up touching the countertop. Put this in, see how it goes. First thing I have to do, that, and that. Make sure my hands are clean. Okay, now I gotta put the clips in from underneath, so let's go under. Okay, the first thing I gotta do is start, so if the sink is pushed out, get this sort of, that's tight, so the drain is set. That does look like it's held down. Okay, what I've had to do is snip a corner off of one of these clips so that I can actually get it in here. It's such a tight fit. Yes, this is as hard as it looks. I always thought, oh, wing nuts, this will be easy. Not so. There, 3 out of 4 done. And it's looking good up top here. Okay, now it's time to put the faucet in. It comes with this plastic gasket you're supposed to put on the bottom. And that's supposed to stop the water intrusion, but I don't really trust it as much. So I'm going to use it, but in addition, on the bottom, I don't want water getting under to these holes. So on the bottom here, I'm just going to put a bead of caulking around the whole thing. The clear silicone caulking, and hopefully this will just be an added precaution. So I guess I kind of put a bead on here. Put it on here. Put it in. There we go. Now underneath I'll have to start putting all the plumbing together. That's tight. That's not going anywhere. Okay, now hook up the water lines. First one, let's do the hard one, the back one. That's the hot water. That seems nice and tight. And now, of course, the cold water. There we go. It does seem to be going on okay. It's really hard. There we go. Woo! All done. Okay, now let's try this sink. And what's different about this sink, it has this popper drain that you push in, push up, and it comes up. So let's try the cold water. Nice. And the hot water. Beautiful. That's going to be great, and I can get my hands under it for washing. This came out spectacular.